in the water.
It's not cold.
Water for my throat.
Stuff going on.
That's okay.
Put the honey in
I don't
there.
mind.
My God, I won't be here for the parents' night.
Where's that?
On the 12th of September. I gotta go to work. Okay, I think are you ready now?
Mm-hmm.
You able to do that? Paula, if you can go ahead and show us. It's 6:35. We'll call the meeting to order. You can go ahead and take care of roll call, please.
District 1 Alderwoman Ana Carrillo.
Here.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
District 3 Alderman David Emery and District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez are both absent.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and let's stand and let's go ahead and do our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Take your time.
Honor the Texas flag.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. For tonight, we have the special meeting, and this is for the presentation, discussion, and direction concerning the budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Zach, I think this is our last one, right?
I sure hope so, unless
Yeah.
for some reason y'all need some additional information. But tonight I just presented on the dais for y'all just some of the major kind of changes since we last met. So it's not the full budget, just because I didn't want to kind of bore you with paper and go through the same stuff. But so I'll start off the first sheet that was provided. This is our most recent last page of our truth and taxation documents. And so what we had looked at last time, and that's this particular page, and I highlighted the voter approval tax rate on there. And so that is slightly lower than what we proposed the other night. But after going through and trying to rework some of the numbers, along with trying to get the water fund back closer in line, we moved some debt over, some of the payments over to the debt service. And by doing that, it adjusted the tax rate. So it is still an increase in the total tax rate that we currently have, which is at 39 and some change cents. But this would go up to 43,934. And that is what then was placed in the budget for the numbers that you see this evening. And so I just wanted to give you all highlight that is slightly lower than what we had proposed, but this would be in line with where we kind of are at, and so it's not as bad as what we had previously shown.
And once again, just as a reminder for everybody, even at 0.43, we're still way below anybody around this area.
Definitely.
And this is both in Atascosa and Medina County.
Yeah.
So I think previous councils, along with our administrative support team, has done a great job of being able to keep us there where we needed to, so it doesn't affect our residents as bad.
And one thing and you'll see in the final budget document, one of the graphs that I did last year, and then also obviously updated with what we proposed for this year, is our tax rate over the last 10 years, just to see kind of graphically how that is. At this 43, we are just about where we are at the highest point. We were at about 44 cents in the last 10 years, some years back. So we've gone down. We've started to go back up a little bit.
Good point.
Just to show we've stayed fairly consistent though, even though it is an increase. So
yeah. No, good point.
So just wanted to highlight that.
Okay.
As we kind of go through the rest of the evening and into the rest of the numbers. So the first one you will see is on the packet of budget information is the general fund summary. And I'm pleased to show that this actually now shows a surplus of $20,298. So, yay. So
Yeah, I know.
we're in the black, which is great.
We're gonna go from
on
water
the,
to Sonic drinks. All right, that'll be good.
Yes,
A little
so-
slush next time.
So that 20,000 and this does include again 4% for all of those departments across the board. This also includes the inclusion of the employee that we've talked about out at Public Works. We actually are putting them to save some costs. We are putting them temporarily this year into the general fund because we can kind of keep it there for now, and then look just like we have in the last 2 years, where we've moved over 2 of the utility clerks to the water and sewer fund. That way, we'll do the same thing next year as we look into budget. But for now, we can absorb the cost easier within
So-
the
That's
general
why the
fund.
parks is empty.
Well, parks is no change, but there's still.
Because we're redoing that this coming year.
Well, the top is revenue.
Yeah, parks is revenue. I'm
Oh,
sorry, top
I'm
is
sorry.
revenue.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we don't get anything off
No,
of
it's
our
right below
parks.
it. It's right below it. Just
Our
go to the next
expenses
section.
are down.
Go to the next section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Was confused.
Oh, well
by-
then we're not making money at the park.
Well, so any of our community type stuff, which includes like rentals at the park, fall under the community center.
Oh, okay.
So that's where that revenue is currently situated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see. All right.
Yeah. So the two, obviously council and parks, we
Yeah,
don't make any revenue.
But he
off
brings
of.
up a valid point.
Yeah.
Not now, but in the future, once we get our lights in there.
Yeah.
And we bring somebody to manage the park.
Yeah.
Then that will add stuff coming in on that.
Definitely.
So good
Yeah.
point. Good point on
no,
that.
that's definitely the case. But I did want to just want to highlight this. This is great that we're in the red on this one. So did want to highlight that. As
And-
far
And Zach, on that with with Public Works, is that effective 1 October or is that?
yes.
Oh wow. Okay, that's even better.
Yes.
That would be even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then you have the next 2 sheets is our admin department. And really the reason I wanted to include these is based on the changes in the tax rate, as we talked about on that first page. With that, you'll see changes on the ad valorem, what we're bringing in. And Yvonne and I also looked at our city sales tax, and we're gaining anywhere from 9-10% every month in sales tax. And we did increase our sales tax number a decent amount just to really get more in line. If you look at what we've already taken in for the year at 1.5 out of what we projected at 1.6, and remind you that that's actually a couple months behind. So we're already almost at budget, and we're still trailing by 2 months. So that's why we're sticking, a much higher amount in there for sales tax. So those 2 factors are really what changed the overall general fund
Good.
around. So
Good.
but other than that, nothing else was included or changed from the last time y'all saw it on that side.
Council, any questions
Oh,
on that? I mean, this is a great story. I mean, I know we were waiting for these numbers.
Yeah.
If you remember, just a few meetings ago, we were trying to figure out how to take care of that deficit. But once we got these numbers, they were able to make adjustments and figure things out. So that's great. It's great for us to be able to do that.
Again, nothing else in the general fund was changed other than really those that I've highlighted. So I didn't include any of the additional departments as far as that is concerned. The next pages are for the water. And so again, in the water, what we did to get that number, if you recall, we were at about 530,000
Correct.
in the hole. And so Yvonne and I talked about it, and although originally on that very first line item, you'll see the bond dedicated funds. It used to be where it was a full wash of the amount. What we talked about is, although it's not a full wash, because we don't anticipate spending obviously 5 million next year, we were capturing some in the expenses. We were capturing some costs that we would be expending out of money that we have, and so we wanted to make sure that that was just a wash in that respect, which then took us down to about 200 and some thousand in the hole. And then through the conversations with Samco and looking at the tax rate and how we could really make that work enough for us, we moved about 100,000 over to the debt payments. And so that gives us now where we're just about 113,000 in the hole. And my suggestion would be to just go ahead and take out of text pool this year and go ahead and make us whole out of that. That wouldn't happen until later on in the budget year, and the only reason would be my hope is that we get more revenue than expected, or we have additional things come online or something happen that would change the numbers, and we may not have to actually transfer the whole 100.
We're actually doing really good on the text
Yeah.
pool too. So.
Yeah. So, but that's where I would suggest we would take it and we would show a line item for that.
Text pool or CDs?
So we would go out of probably text pool. We are moving 2 CDs in the general fund already to cover
Remember
the
we
costs in
approved
the
those,
general fund.
Yeah.
So, but I will say the rest of the ones that are in like CDs that we have a couple park related CDs. So it's not really, in my mind, appropriate to take those to make it work in the water fund, in the utility side.
And
So
our interest earned should pretty much cover it.
we're making really good interest. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's really it on the water side. I think we're in a really good place, honestly, from where we've come, starting at the beginning of the budget year. But that's any changes there that would.
And that
come
vehicle
forth.
purchase on there, that's going to be
The vehicle
that's-
purchase
that's
is
that
for
one vehicle for them, right?
One vehicle for Public Works. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Back on street repairs.
Yeah.
25,000 overall for the city?
Yeah. So, and you're talking about in general fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had the street repair there at around that 25,000 for quite some time. This is the one thing that, and I know I've had conversations with the mayor about this, is budgeting and accounting, 2 very different things, right? So we've budgeted every year around 20,000, but we don't necessarily take that money and go stick it into an account, right? And then it starts getting more money up and up and up. So I know that one thing that we're going to continue to make sure we're repairing and patching our streets as much as possible. But I think there's going to come a point in time where if we're really serious about street reconstruction and street repair, we're probably going to have to look at actually issuing some sort of bond to really tackle some of these streets. And I think that's doable. I think we're going to have a conversation around a new well. Even looking at money for the wastewater treatment plant, right? And those were 2 priorities that y'all as a body wanted. And then I think there would be looking at including somehow additional money for street repair at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest calls I get on my first.
100%.
But, they were asking me, a year and a half ago, and I said, well, 25, 26 is going to be a year y'all be getting something.
Yeah.
I can't tell them, what you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
But that's what we're talking about. We'll let you know when it happens.
So what we've done in the past, Richard, and it'd be good, and it'll be good for you all, is start looking at your streets and be able to identify which one is your number one. Because what we've done in the past, remember, Paula, we'll actually give every council member an opportunity. We work on that street, and then there's one that we come up as together, one major one. Okay, like for instance, I'm not going to say right now, but I'm not going to say that it will be because it'll go through council. But the Bend City, where the Y is at, That's one that has high traffic area, needs a lot of work. So more likely that might be a consideration in there. So start looking at your district and try to figure out, see which one would be a priority. So whenever we start having these discussions, but those are separate from the budget.
Yeah, but yes, technically that 25,000. I mean, to answer outright, yeah, that is for the whole city. On the sewer side, just wanted to make sure we reflected and showed that we actually have a positive right now, showing a little under 10,000 in the black in the sewer, and this was mainly because of the changes we did on salaries within sewer for one of the utility billing clerks. So just wanted to that's the only reason I included this. Just wanted to show you where that one was sitting now, because I think that one before was also a little bit in the hole, but now showing actually
So
positive.
now we're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So all in all, I mean, really great position I think we're in. On both our general fund and our utility fund. As far as the next sheet is actually the debt service. I hadn't shown y'all any of that. I know it's not really anything that y'all can change or do anything with. Mostly these are payments that were set when we issued those bonds, but did want to just show you this. And then you'll see down towards the bottom, the 2022 CO principal. This is actually where that additional 100,000 that I talked about before was added in addition to our normal payments that we would make. So we shifted some additional money that into the debt service out of the water fund. So, but
Okay. Good.
And then the last one, as far as budget numbers are concerned, wanted to just go over with y'all is I did make a change, and I'll let the mayor. Unfortunately, I fell a little under the weather last week, and so probably still hear a little bit of the remnants of it. But the mayor went ahead and had a meeting with the chamber as we had talked about. So in the hotel motel fund. Special revenue fund. Obviously, there was a concern around the Chamber of Commerce expense. He can go into detail probably on the meeting, but I did also want to provide just some additional context. And you'll note that I actually dropped the amount down to it was 35,000 that we'd had in the previous years and shown earlier this year, but I did drop that down to 18,000 based on kind of a couple different factors. And so some of those I'd like to, I'll go ahead and pass out to show you. So the first page that you'll have on there is expenses from 23, 24, and then 25. And this is specific to the expenses related to
Thank you.
Just the reimbursement piece. And so there was the first year, or that 23 that we did go 19,672. But then obviously I think between this year where we'll hit and then last year we were just over 17.5 was where we were sitting at. So much more in line with the 18. And I can tell you the mayor's in conversations following up since coming back to the office, sounds like that's kind of where the expectation was all along. Is not that 35,000, more in line with that 18,000. Additionally, just wanted to provide you something that gets actually when we pay them is the second packet that I gave y'all. So this shows what they provide to us as far as what they're asking for reimbursement for. So it shows there, and some of these are double-sided, just so you'll see. But it also includes timesheets for the individuals that are being asked to be a portion of their pay paid for. And then just wanted to include just some general information that at least in this particular case, April through July 2025, that we had access to. And so just want y'all to kind of review that and see that, because I know that's been something that we've been talking about. But Mayor, I don't know if you want to just kind of fill your conversation.
So the
with
two
chamber.
things that we had council before was one, the accountability portion of it. How can we account for the money that we're actually providing? And number two was the presentation portion of it. So walking into this meeting, the number one thing was take care of the accountability. But once they brought out the pieces of paper and they had the whole packet, and then saw that every month they present this, they have the information. Unfortunately, the second part, which was a presentation, was to be able to consolidate all this and come over and talk to us. Just like we have, Mike mentioned it, like a monthly meeting, we have our department heads that they would actually come in and tell us maybe every 4 months, once a quarter, how we're doing, or maybe every 6 months, right? Let us know how we're doing, consolidate the information so we can understand the financials and then understand the visits and what actually happened. So it was a very productive meeting. We figured out that they have all the information. It's just being able to put it in a way and then be able to present it on there. It was always, and that was where the clarification was. The clarification was it was always understood that it was $35,000 to be able to do the things that we needed to do for both parties. But our agreement with the city is that we would split the cost. So the chamber and the Chop Salado has half, and then the council pays half. That's the reason why on the actual accountability sheet on here, Zach went ahead and adjusted it to 18, because that's what we should have. And when you look at the amounts on there, we're pretty close to that. They had another sheet that they had brought in. Did you have this?
I did not print that one. No.
Okay, so there's a sheet on there. I think Mike said, I'll pass it over. So this is a sheet that they brought over for 2024, and you can look at all the different amounts, and then you can look at the total. So you'll notice on there that we would be, it's summarized in this one too, but that one is a little bit more, chronological, less detailed, but you can easily see that we would be within the 18,000, because that's what we are supposed to be providing for support. So they're putting something together. They're going to get with Zach, and no later than the second meeting in September, they are going to be coming in front of council, and they're going to go ahead and do a summary of the numbers of where they're at and what we have had. So honestly, I think it was a good meeting for accountability purposes. And number two, we were able to go ahead and talk about the presentation and make sure that our numbers are matching to what we actually have. So thank you for the adjustment on the budget.
Yeah, not a problem. And I do want to highlight that, and we kind of talked about this before, is this, if you look in the actuals from the last couple years under that line item, you have 32,000, you have 39,000. Obviously, the original budget of 35, and then even this year 17, but that doesn't actually that 17 doesn't even line up with what we had. If you see what we had currently been paid out at 10. So in looking at this today with the finance group here and Ronnie and Yvonne, we noticed a lot of things that were coded to this line item as Chamber of Commerce expense. Most of the time it was related to the Music Fest, which should have been completely separate from this particular line item. And so, like I communicated last time, I fully expected some of that to be not 100% accurate, and that's exactly what was found today. So this is the true numbers that you have here. The 19,000 from 2022, or I'm sorry, 23, and then 17's 5 from 24. So
Who owns that property?
it's actually the is it Peñas or
Well, it's the family, but it's
Yeah.
incorporated because
Yeah.
they have subleases in there.
Is it a family that's part of the chambers?
I don't know all the members of the chamber, so not 100% sure if they are, but
So
yeah.
my question is related to this.
Sure.
So the agreement is between the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Lido.
Mhm.
So obviously the shops of Lido are the ones that are invoicing this and keeping track.
Yeah, so the Shops of Light are for lack of a better word, subsidiary of.
Yeah, we
Right.
have to keep
Um,
it separate.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear that the money's not going to the shops of Lido.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of, when you look at it, it looks like that's where it's going. but
Correct.
They're the ones that are controlling the distributions. Right?
Correct.
And that's where we're getting our invoices.
100%. Yes, sir.
Can that be changed?
I can look with Catherine. I mean,
Yeah, I think we went through this with legal. I know that they created that this would be the right way to actually have some sort of separation.
Okay.
Because technically the Shops of Lido are partnered with the actual chamber, but the money has to go directly into this pot because we don't want it to go into the pot of money that the chamber has for them to do their own events. Completely separate. They have to be managed separately.
So that's understood. I just wanted to make it clear that the money's not going to one particular
100%.
business in Lido. And two, I promise everyone in the future, we're going to get reports. Mayor has mentioned that.
Yeah.
I want to see that. And I also want to see what the job description is and what they're doing, what they've done, which would be part of the report.
That one, I like I said, they showed me the agreement that they had for the first employee.
Yeah.
And it was detail in there, but it hadn't been updated.
Right.
So in a sense, with the current employees.
Yeah.
So they'll need to provide.
and I think
That's
it's
good
fair.
news.
It's fair conversations, especially it's taxpayer money being expended for this purpose, and
Right.
so I think coming quarterly, and we'll work out how often or whatnot, and maybe it's a little more frequent in the beginning just because we are getting our feet back in this, and but we'll make sure that we're being as communicative as possible for y'all as the end of the day, and making sure the funds are being used appropriately. So,
Let's just remind. I will apologize. I don't remember when I summarized with them to get the agreement of the employee. What is it? So if
I'll make sure to
Zach,
talk
if you
with
can
Catherine.
please
Yeah,
mention that
Mhm.
to him.
yeah, that's not a problem.
Because that'll definitely be a question.
100%. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
these two,
Yeah.
the summary of
It's
everything,
expenses.
we talked about that, and then the slideshow that has a summary of the visits and all that stuff, which is in the back.
Yeah.
So this was the one that they were also going to modify. So these are the two that I talked to them about.
And I know, and Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of the conversation, not only, or at least what you told me, was not only the visitors is great, but also like how many of those did you actually connect with, and
Right.
talking about Lido, because that's really the biggest thing is if you read the agreement we had in place, it was that they would operate as a visitor center for the city of Lido. So making sure that it's not just, oh yeah, here you purchase some things. Like we are actually engaging with these people and letting them know what's going on in Lido, where they can go, where things are, that kind of stuff. So,
And having initially made the motion back in 22, I think, that was one of the requirements.
Yeah.
That not only that we're informed, but that
Yeah.
they become part of that tourism.
100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
No, good job. It's always good to save money.
Yeah, well, and to note, if you look now, because it was slightly with that 35,000 in there, we were actually, going over. We were in the hole in the hotel motel. Obviously, we know we have a bank of money, sitting in tax pool, but now we're actually showing now in the surplus.
Yeah.
So we have a little more wiggle room with our hot funds. We're not expending it all, which I think will become key and something that I'll be bringing back to y'all very soon. Hopefully, is some information on some efforts that are being done around our 75th anniversary next year, and so where some of those funds may be able to tap into. So
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you want a banner?
Oh.
well, that's a great transition to our fee schedule now. No.
I was just gonna say, you know, it was gonna be.
I brought up
two-
standards.
It was gonna be two-stepping.
I saw more banners than the other towns. You know what? And I saw the city putting them up, so. Anyway, don't go there.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad, Richard.
If there's anything else on the actual
Anna is
numbers,
part
or,
of the family now. It's like, okay,
that's right.
it's time to have-
She fits right in. Fair enough. All right, so I just wanted to update y'all on the master fee schedule since last time we talked, and just what I did is just highlighted some of the changes that we made, other than the ones we talked about. So right off the bat, one of the things we were looking, and Yvonne found that we actually didn't have in the fee schedule, was our NSF fees when checks get returned, things like that. So we haven't been able to charge people, obviously, and most of the time you would do that. So stuck that in there. So that's that first one on the first page. Additionally, as I was looking through the animal ordinance and everything, when we were looking at making those changes, one of the things I noticed in there was we have a permit for domestic fowl and livestock, but we didn't have a fee anywhere. So obviously wanted to make sure that we were actually capturing that on the fee schedule as well. So those are those first two changes that you see on the first page.
What are you talking about? Livestock.
So technically, to have livestock in the city limits, it's not an issue to have them, but you are required by our ordinance to have a permit to have them on
We
your
always
property.
had that from?
So that's always been on the books, or for as long as the animal control ordinance has been in place. But now I can't tell you how many actually have a permit for it, because part of the problem is we didn't charge.
So
also,
the permit,
Why are we charging?
Well,
Cost
there's still costs to do that
Cost of
business. Yeah, I mean
DOT.
to process that permit. So if we're gonna require the permit, then
so I want to give you one quick example, and it's not because of this fee, but something that happened a few years ago, that somebody came over and asked for a permit. And one of the things that was quickly identified was that they had a septic system. Well, a septic system, it has limitations of what you can do around the laterals and everything else that goes along with that. So by having the permit, we got the right people to go and take a look and see if there was going to be any kind of cross-contamination because of having livestock in that area. Okay? So you have different types of systems out there, whether it's a conventional or the anaerobic too. So that was the other thing too. They had one of those that sprays after a certain time when the tank gets full, it'll spray the stuff into your grass. That would not be good if you have animals running around like chickens. So,
Most ranches are
so,
built like that.
so once again, inside the city, different rules, different requirements for health regulations. So this is a perfect way to be able to take a quick little snapshot and see if there's anything that we need to do.
Yeah. The other thing we've had, it doesn't happen often, and a lot of times the neighbors are able to help us out, but we have had livestock get out, and it is helpful to be able to track down, potentially who the livestock might belong to. If they've come in, and almost like a registration in a way, that they are on the property, so we know, we don't have any issues. So yeah, and that's honestly why I kept it at like the $15. We're not trying to nickel and dime somebody regarding it. It's just more just to, but we do have the permit in there, so I wanted to make sure we captured that on the fee schedule.
We don't get, when was the last time we had one of those? I want to say 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years.
We had some horses get out when I was shortly after I got here, because that was something that I remember Richie saying, you probably didn't experience this in Houston. So,
And we do have, I mean, there's multiple houses with chickens and
Yeah.
and everything is okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just the way the city grew.
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh yeah.
we have opportunities for folks.
So that's to say, there may become a day when our officer or
An ordinance. Yeah.
officer will come to your door, and if you have livestock and you don't have a permit, ask you to fill one out
Could. Yeah.
and pay the
Yeah.
the $25 or
Correct.
whatever,
Yeah. At
we
that
have to
time,
do.
whatever. Yeah.
just to get back into compliance.
Mhm. Yeah, similar to, I mean, if we had like pet registration, it'd be the same thing, but we don't, but yeah. Again, just added things that we talked about it, like clarifying the commercial and multifamily construction plan review as well as for inspections. So just wanted to make sure, again, didn't highlight that, but,
That's
wanted
good.
to make sure.
Thank you.
Also added under the miscellaneous, which goes on to the third page, also labeled page 42, is the structure moving permit. So I added that. We talked about that. That was an ordinance that was passed, but didn't have it in there last time. So added that one in there. Let's see. Added the $25 for the ones that were listed under fire marshal as no charge originally. Didn't highlight those, but that was talked about last time. Cleaned up on the library. So Lido resident, and I apologize, I didn't highlight this one, but Lido resident or Lido ISD student with a Lido ISD, their library card would be no charge, whereas a non-Lido resident library card would be the $20 annually. So
What page is that?
that is
43.
43.
43.
Yeah,
And actually,
kind of middle of the
today I
pack.
even got somebody reached out to us, so they're waiting for us to pass it
That's correct.
because they want to. So they live in Atascosa, the city, and they're outside the county. They're more of the Bear County, but they've changed some things over there, and this is the library that they want to be able to bring their kids. So they don't mind paying the $20, but they want to be able to use the services that are available here. So
Yeah, and
Once we-
Cassandra's had a few people come and she's just like, hey, we're looking at it. Like, please be
Yeah.
patient with us and we'll get it taken care of. So
they want to be able to use it just because those changes that happened over in Bear County.
under Parks and Rec, just the changes we talked about were adding the security fees to the gazebo and the pavilion if they are going to have alcohol at those events, since that was something that was not listed prior, and also clarifying it was half hour before and half hour after the event on all of those situations. So I didn't make any changes on the planning and development fees, but while we're here, I know y'all had asked me to kind of look around and see what others were doing, especially on the zoning and variance. So I was able to get a hold of a few of our neighboring cities. So I'll just kind of go through the list for the ones that I found. It won't take very long, but so Hondo is sitting at, for variance and zoning change applications, $500.
Let me go ahead and
Yeah, so we are at
150.
150, and commercial we just charge what it actually costs is what we put
And
last time.
so if somebody wants to change something in their area, or
$500.
their lot, $500.
$500.
Wow.
And the variance we had at $50, theirs would be 500 as well. That's on the next page at the top,
Oh, on the top.
45.
I was looking for that.
Yeah.
Oh, variance application. Okay.
Yeah.
They have what for
500 as well.
500 for a variance also?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So Castroville, they had it listed as $200 for a variance. For zoning was also 200, but they also put on there plus a consultant fee. Couldn't really get any indication of what that meant. I don't know if they send those off for review somewhere, and that's probably where they that fee would then be assessed as well. But that's what that would be my guess. City of Divine, the only thing I could find was $50 for variance. I couldn't see anything for zoning. So that's in line with what we have. Jordanton is $350 for either zoning or variance. Pleasanton has no zoning, so I can't compare because they don't have that process to be able to actually go through that process of a change. I found that out today. I thought they had zoning. They do not. So, yeah.
So if somebody wants to change it, they can't?
But there is nothing to change. They don't have it. There's no zoning.
So they can build whatever you want in any lot?
I think they just based on building code, and they probably amend the building code appropriately. But I mean, obviously, I didn't have a conversation with them, but clearly from their website, is they have no zoning. It's straight up in their FAQs even. It says, do we have zoning? No. So,
I can come back to bite you.
and those are the only ones that I really was able to kind of get. I mean, I didn't really go into San Antonio per se, because I just don't think it's really accurate to what we see.
No, we're good.
But I mean, I can tell you, City of San Antonio is about like $200 for, but they also have a lot more things that you get into. So again, I didn't make any changes, but did want to just highlight those. And obviously we can have a conversation about increasing or whatnot, but yeah.
Well, we didn't have one before, so
We did not have anything before.
we have. I think it's a good starting point, and then we just see how it goes. And the staff can come back to us and tell us, hey, we probably need to charge more because there's additional costs, just like they've done with a few other ones. If you all are okay with that, I think it's reasonable with the amounts that we have in there, especially when you look at our surrounding communities. I think what we're charging is reasonable, very reasonable, actually.
500 was
500.
yeah.
My goodness. No wonder nobody.
They don't want
wants to-
anybody to change, I
Yeah,
guess.
no. You got, and that's a fee. Hey, so that's a fee no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, so that's you could get denied and you're paying $500,
You
and the
pay
likelihood is you're not
$500.
getting it back. I mean, I know we don't give back, the money.
Yeah, but
So.
it's $500.
I know.
Getting back.
Yeah.
Or y'all can go to Pleasanton.
Yeah.
Been like that forever.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay, so then the only other, on page 46.
46.
Yeah, and sorry, I should have highlighted this one too, but I did this afternoon. And towards the bottom, civil services. So one thing we're noticing is, especially mostly on the fiber contractor, right? That's come in, especially into the new areas. We don't really have anything in place where we're able to either review truly what they're doing, and then also from an inspection standpoint when they're putting fiber right next to our water lines, sewer lines, that kind of stuff. So we want to have a little more kind of involvement in that. And so this $90 an hour for the inspection and $120 an hour for the plan review actually comes straight from AOCA's fee schedules. And then additionally, we've brought in AG3 on certain times when we've had, because we do not make the sewer taps. Normally that's a contractor, that are doing the sewer taps. And if they're having to bore under our streets to do that or anything like that, the last few times we've done that, we've brought in AG3 to do those inspection services. And so what I went ahead and did is added that utility outside inspection and put it at actual cost, because that's what we've been doing. And so just wanted to capture those.
No, they'll
fees.
capture it.
Yeah.
No way.
Additionally, on the water well, just added the actual costs incurred for review. That was something that we talked about last time. And then finally, we get to probably the big conversation. So on page 47 and 48, I gave two different options for a drought surcharge fee. One thing we talked about with our water and wastewater rate study was aligning the surcharge to the individual tiers that we already have established. So what I've done in both of these situations is do that and created for stage 4 and stage 5. The one thing that still never came out of the water wastewater study was he kind of still left it up to us as far as how we come up with that number, that the magic number of what to charge under these scenarios. So as I actually started with option 2, which was really looking at, and at first I started with 1,000 over whatever that tier was in each category, right? So, but the problem with that was I was getting to a point where you have some of our probably highest users. I did just some quick math on a few, namely HEB, in some of their high months, you're looking at, under the scenario, if you did it at that, let's just say that $37.98 every 1,000 gallons over the 100,000, you're looking somewhere in the range of $2,000-$3,000 extra that they would have to pay for that month. For a business, and I'm not saying all of them fit this category, but for a business that largely can't really help the water usage that it has, right? Whereas we know some of our businesses can, but if we're not obviously trying to single out one individual or two individuals over another. So as I started looking at this, still kind of played with the numbers, and this is where I came up with this, whether you have this kind of breakdown, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, all the way up to 10,000 for every, based on that category. It still comes out to a pretty high number in those scenarios. So even in that case, you're still looking at like somewhere in the range of $1,000 for some of those users or higher. But I think that's probably more reasonable. So then again, I wanted to look at, okay, what other option could there be? And it would be cleaner. And these numbers are subject to be able to change around, but I went to option 1, which is, and again, 1 and 2, it doesn't really matter, but this is just how I labeled them. But this would be more of a flat fee every month for those individuals that fall in these categories, and how I did those.
So option 1 is actually the least expensive for the customer.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Because option 2 is based per 1,000.
Yeah.
So if I was a business and I had nominal usage of 50,000, the flat rate would be 40 on option 1.
For stage 4, yeah.
However, in the option 2, that will vary based on how much I use.
Correct.
Past
That 25,000 for every 4,000. And again, that number is movable, but I just kind of, tried to step it up as the gallons went, just because
as far
you
as
start getting, if you did 1,000 across the board, which is currently what our ordinance says. So that would be the other thing, is we would have to go in and amend the ordinance, but currently the way the ordinance says, it's 1,000 regardless. Right. And in those cases, the number is, way high on some of these people. So
what is our current system can handle the calculation for option 2?
it could. Yeah. I think the breakdown
Versus the flat rate?
Well, either one, we have to go in and amend the ordinance.
Right.
Yeah. But either one, we can work into our utility billing software. That's not an issue. I was just more on the standpoint of, you got to some of those users, and it was very high numbers. And maybe that's reasonable. I'm not the one to say. I just,
But
that's
the thing about, the reason that we're doing this is for folks to also pay attention, and understand. We don't want them to stop using the water, but we want them to think about how they're using the water, right?
Yeah.
I think it's important to do that. I'm okay with stage 4 with a fee, but I think when we're in stage 5, so if somebody is like between 3 and 10,000, you're only looking at $15 more. I think for stage 5, we're in critical stage of water usage. And I look at it the other way too. So my gut feeling is stage 4, use a fee. But stage 5, you use option 2. Option 1 for stage 4, and option. And
I think anything's on the table.
And
So
stage 5 would be the other one. I think somebody's not going to cut down on what they're doing or watch what they're doing with the water if we go to stage 5, and they're just going to pay an extra $15.
Mhm.
So, Mayor, you can explain this better, but would you explain how the city's not trying to make money, because we will incur this charge if we go over when we're in the different stages? correct?
That's
So
correct.
It's not a money-making scheme
It's
by the
not.
city of
No.
No Way.
No, we're trying to cover the costs that eventually we
Exactly,
might have to
because-
pay.
When we go to stage 4, stage 5, the city has to reduce.
Yeah.
If we go over, the city has to put out money.
That's correct. Well,
Yeah,
we need
so
to
I
buy
just-
additional water rights.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what I want to make sure that's clear is that this is not the city putting a penalty for using more
That's
water.
correct.
No.
It's based on the drought stages.
Correct.
Good point. Good point.
No, I like that option one for stage 4, and then go into the aggressive option 2 for stage 5. I mean, that
Yeah.
does make sense because at stage 5, it gets critical,
Mhm.
water usage. And we don't go into stage 5 very often.
I mean, we went in
Right?
it
For like a
one
week?
time for like
Like a
3
month?
days,
Yeah.
and it was the first time in the history of the Edwards. So
But at that point, it becomes I mean, at stage 5, we go down to 50%, right?
45. but
45.
yeah.
So 45%. Imagine we've already have all these water rights, and now we got to reduce that tier by 45%. Now that's a max. Anything past that, we would need to get additional water rights.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Be able to offset it,
Or we're gonna have to pay a fee.
or we're gonna have to pay a fee. I just drank
Oh,
one.
Not in the trash.
I already
I
drank
mean,
one. I got this one, and then I'll finish that one. I might be able to give this one back.
So on the option 2,
Stage 4, stage 5.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be more in line with what's going on in stage 5 or
Yeah.
option 1.
Are you okay with the ramp up, the 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000,
The breakdown in stage 5.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're comfortable with that. Again, technically, the way we wrote the ordinance, and again, we were doing that just to get something on the books, right? So we didn't really have a lot of where we were going with it, right? Is we said 1,000 across the board, you know. I don't know that that's. I mean, in some of these scenarios, I mean, I can tell you on a stage 4 scenario, in some of the ones I saw with some of the high numbers, you're looking at like $12,000 almost for somebody, which that's a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
and
With the
obviously
fee.
under stage 5, that might be reasonable.
Well, how many in the stage? Okay, so looking at option 1 and stage 4,
Mhm.
how many of those are residential that would fall?
Under which category?
3,000 to 10,000 or 10,000? Do we have anybody
Your
in those
most
first two?
most residents in that are going to when we looked with our contractor looking at the water wastewater, most of them are going to be either under that or in that 3 to 10,000 category.
Okay, so we don't have
There's a
anybody at
few that are 10 to 25, but it's going to be hit or miss across the board, and sometimes those are leaks that then we get bill adjustments for
10.
anyways.
So majority of our homes sit at 3,000 and below?
Yeah.
Okay.
So most won't ever see a charge.
So to me, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's reasonable if they go past that for stage 4. But once we're in stage 5, I mean, we got to cut back. So I think everybody has to be able to be a little bit more attentive, just because, I mean, and it's not cheap. Water right is how much?
Uh,
300,000
300 per
acre foot.
acre foot. $300 per
It
acre.
gets to that point, I mean, I have to go get a line over there at the gazebo and give them a gallon. Like I did at home, I remember the old lady.
Hey, in the old days, it was by the beverage barn in the back.
there was a lot.
That was a machine you put coin in there and you get your water and then you would haul it back, right? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I got my direction. I'll make that change, and that's what we'll
Are
go with.
you all okay with that? Do the first option for the
Mhm.
for stage 4, and then in stage 5
do
would
that.
use option 2. Everybody okay with that?
Which,
Yes.
just FYI, we went into stage 4 last week, so back to stage 4.
Yeah.
After all that rain we got.
Well, we got 2 inches this weekend, but we still need more.
Yeah.
Lots more. Okay. Well, that helps. Awesome. Good discussion.
And that was it. Unless there's any other changes y'all think need to be made on the fee schedule.
Paula, you think of anything else that we're missing that we need to capture? Okay. I know you see a little bit of everything with permitting and all that other stuff that you helping out people, taking care of different stuff. So if there's anything that we need to capture as a fee, this is a time.
We get together,
Yep.
we were doing that. So.
Okay.
The one thing, the garbage rate, we'll get that here soon, and that'll change this. But the good thing, what I'm gonna do when we put this as a part of the budget, but what I'm gonna do is have y'all that same night take a separate action item for just the fee schedule itself, so that way it'll make it easier when amending the fee schedule going forward, instead of having to amend the budget every single time.
Yeah.
And so as those changes happen, and we might have things that, like you
Pop
said,
up.
it pop up, especially on the planning and development side. If we're going, we're getting overrun with costs here, then
We might
can
have
forward.
additional stuff,
So,
with new things that are popping up. So it'll be good. Anything, Michael? Anything
Within the
else?
budget?
Anything else that we need to put? or
I got
think about?
I got all your charts working and everything. So
Once you get the worksheets adjusted and pretty much finalized, I know it's not the budget, but
yeah.
could you send that out
I can.
with all the new numbers?
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
we'll still have it as an action item, right? It'll come in a packet,
Oh yeah, that'll
Yeah, so
as
you'll
the
get it in
budget.
the
Yeah,
packet,
yeah.
because we'll need to vote on it.
Yes.
Well, I know
But
the actual budget will come in the packet, right?
Yeah.
But I mean the worksheets you
Oh, the
currently have.
worksheets, got it.
I can do that.
Once you get them updated,
Mhm.
should be good.
Yeah. I mean they're basically done now. There's some last minute little tweaks here and there, but yeah, I will make sure to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Anything?
Thank you for letting me at the Chamber of Commerce, because I wasn't sure how, but with the breakdown, I kind of.
Good.
So it helped me understand.
And again, more information to come, and we'll make sure that they're able to present to y'all. And
Yeah. I think we're going to recommend maybe once a quarter.
Yeah.
Until the
Mhm.
council feels comfortable that, hey, we can go to twice a year. We'll make that next move, but we'll go ahead and do that. Richard, anything? No. I'm just glad that we don't have on the collection of fees or anything. We don't have anything for attendance, because we really
Or
would not.
tardiness,
We would not make a lot of money off of that. So I think we
I'm
keep it
tardy.
at zero. We don't charge anything. We can attract. We'll have to do anything that goes along with that. But okay, with that in mind, don't need a motion since it's just us getting together. It is 7:32, and I will go ahead. I know, I almost knocked my water down. I can't do that. So I will call the meeting as adjourned. Thank you for joining us. Great meeting. Got it done. And no